Last video we began our journey in the city of Stormreach on Xen'drik from Gopher and Oddjobber to hopefully Warlord and Tyrant. Along the way, we could use some powerful allies. The Church of the Silver Flame believes itself to be the defender and arbiter of what is objectively good, and sends fanatical paladins, clerics, and exorcists across the world fighting fiends and undead. They're also a bit of a moral police with the goal of fighting human vice, as you can see from this priest that's paying me to destroy a gambling den. Wait a minute. Is this a JoJo reference? This is Capshaw the Crier. He tries to use his words to fight the rich and powerful who oppress the common people, usually by distributing leaflets and sending criers across the city to make speeches and tell tales. He's been unsuccessful in making any impact, so far. We're in the Cerulean Hills right now, and despite the many green-skinned creeps I'm melting, incinerating, and cleaving, orcs are actually not unilaterally evil in Eberron. The continent we're currently on, Xen'drik, only recently received them as migrants, but on the continent of Corvair, the main setting of the tabletop RPG, they established some of the first civilizations, as well as the Order of Druids known as the Gatekeepers. You think death can stop me? Think again. And again! And again! And again. That's right, bitch. Who said people die when they are killed anyways? Sounds like a dweeb. That's weird. The last follower of the sovereign host wore a lot less clothing. Don't you believe in gender equality? Well, that makes me sad. Shit! The only thing that's worse than a reaper! 2 reapers! Got a kite, got a kite, got a kite, got a kite. Let's be real, it really isn't an MMO without a random microtransaction system. Hey, they're running a business here. The Gatekeepers were originally an order of orc druids taught by the dragon Varrock, with the goal of defending Eberron against extraplanar beings. When the world was breached by Exoriat, the realm of madness, and invaded by the beings known as the Dalkir, the Gatekeepers were able to fight them off, but at the cost of the majority of their members. Currently, the Order is open to everyone, and Druids are only found in leadership positions. The majority of Gatekeeper hunters are barbarians, rangers, and other warriors close to nature. Very nice mane you have there. Compared to mine, well... I will repeat that as far as the sourcebooks make clear, orcs are not native to Xen'drik, which the MMO seems to have forgotten. It's okay, more things to kill. So in this game, half-orcs can have the ability to smash open locks instead of picking them. For some reason, this is a charisma-based intimidate check. It's like I'm going over to locks and saying, "Rah, open up or else!" and the metal makes a little squeak and opens. If the orcs didn't want me looting their ancestral wealth, why did they make their locks so break-up? So this chapter in the arc is about a warforged automaton who wants to be a gatekeeper druid, but druids don't like metal, which he's made of. Come to think of it, the Pope already said that if aliens arrived on Earth, he would baptize them, so I wonder, would he do the same for a robot? So it looks like this hireling is a drow. Like Eberron orcs, drow and Eberron, who are natives to Xen'drik, are not universally evil. Also, unlike Forgotten Realms drow, they prefer scorpions over spiders, with many of them dedicated to a scorpion god called Volkur. Okay, so I never really got this part. There's a couple of deactivated golems, and the DM suggests you destroy them before they cause trouble for anyone else. But for some reason, you need to activate them and defeat them in combat, instead of just breaking them apart while inactive. Of course, this game was never meant to be realistic, and I'll get some conveniently placed loot if I pull it off, so I'll allow it. Excellent sense of style, milady. You don't really need both sides armored anyways. Just show your main side to your enemies only, just like Drakari witches. Or don't, and get two-shotted by that Reaper. That's cool too. Okay, I have lost all the footage of myself dying to the hot lava monster on the other side of this barrier, but trust me that this thing has roasted me before, so I've come prepared. I've used potions and spells to buff my armor and speed and brought 3 different ice spells, which I have drunk a potion specifically to enhance the power of. If I don't win this, I'm going to start questioning my entire life choices. Damn, I don't think Texas's power grid could handle this. How do you like the ice, kid? So this chapter is an emotional horror story about a farm girl who wanted to get away from her country bumpkin family and become a druid. I suppose this isn't the most appropriate time to point out that in the Middle Ages, somebody with a house this big would be more well off than most minor nobles. Like, come on, just hire a couple of farmhands at this point. Wow. Now that there's the stuff of nightmares. So, between the living scarecrows and this boss-level angry ghost, a lot of it probably has to do with the supernatural force behind this whole arc, but I will remind everyone that even without a great power, D&D worlds and their offshoots are like The Grudge, where if somebody dies in a great enough rage or grief, they can come back as spirits and slap you with more ability damage than a Dark Souls boss. In Pathfinder 1e, there's even a long-haired Japanese yurei with 14 levels of difficulty, making it stronger than many dragons. So, every other commoner woman in Stormreach and Korthos wears an outfit like this. And it turns out those aren't partially attached sleeves. Peasant fashion just demands that women just arbitrarily wear bandages around their forearms. Whatever, I'm not complaining. As someone who grew up in a somewhat conservative majority Asian neighborhood in California, girls even showing their armpits is the height of sex appeal for me. Have any of you guys seen this French sci-fi movie called Vesper? The ecological catastrophe in that is probably what happens when people try to use technology to improve nature. Or maybe that's not what he means, and he just wants to make wheelchairs for disabled wolf cubs. So our hireling today is a dwarf cleric and... Ooh, you know what they say. A surprise for sure, but a welcome one. Nice. Alright, there is something worse than two Reapers. A Reaper with meat shields. Piss the fuck off! Okay, hear me out. The Grudge Ghost, but instead of spreading like a virus and tormenting you and killing you, she sits by you in trig class, invisible, and whispers test answers in your ear. Looks like we finally found our culprits. These are hags. In Eberron, hags are all generally interplanar beings, and in the Age of Demons, they served as mediators and messengers between fiends and dragons. Today, they scheme, lie, and cheat their way across worlds, their plans usually involving inflicting suffering for their own amusement. Man, if only dealing with dark thoughts was as easy as killing ghostly creatures in your own mind. Maybe I might even jump through all California's flaming hoops to buy a gun. Maybe not. So apparently getting enough astral shards to come back to life, even in a Reaper mission, costs about $5 in real dollars. That's less than most Starbucks coffee, and honestly, I think that's worth more. Though, let's be real, that's not a high bar. The wizards say that I have no hope. But as King Conan said, hope? Only weaklings depend on hope. Strength! Strength and a good sword. That's all a man ever needed. And using my own evocation magic totally doesn't make me a hypocrite there. Either way, next time think twice, losers. And there you have it. Thanks to the might of the warlord of Thrax, the lost druids are safe. The plans of the Hag Coven are foiled, and all is good. All's well that ends well.